Hello, welcome once again to a seminar for online math class. In this video, we are going to discuss function of a function. This is a derivative and there are two questions presented for us to solve. So we have that y is equivalent to 3x squared minus 2 to the power of 3 and y is equivalent to 5 over 6 minus x squared all to the power of 3. So we shall take them one after the other, beginning from the first one. So we have that y is equal to 3x squared minus 2 to the power of 3. How do you know that it is function of a function that we use? Whenever you have a term in a bracket and they are sharing a common power outside, suspect function of a function. Okay, now to solve this, you have to let or assume a value to be equivalent to whatever you are having inside the bracket. So you can say let u be equal to 3x squared minus 2. That is the item in the bracket. You can let it to be u or any letter you prefer. But in this derivative, we prefer x so much. We prefer u so much. So if y, which is 3x squared minus 2 to the power of 3, and we say that u is the item in the bracket, therefore you can now write that y is, since everything here is 9u, so this is u to the power of 3. So you have that y is u to the power of 3. You can now see that y, which is a function of x, and u is also a function of x. So therefore y is a function of x and u is still a function of x. But you can now see that y is now a function of u, which is a function of what? X. That is y is a function of a function. So u is a function of x and y is a function of u, which implies that y is a function of something that is still a function of another thing. So let us find the two derivatives, du dx and dy du. Therefore, du over dx means differentiating u with respect to x. And remember, from differentiation formula, the power comes to the back. So 2 times 3 will have 6x, 2 minus 1. The derivative of any constant will give you 0. And 2 minus 1 is 1. Therefore, you can write that our du dx is equivalent to just 6x, because 2 minus 1 is 1. Then again, let us get dy du. So dy over du, the rate of change of y with respect to u, will give us, the 3 comes to the back, and the same 3 minus 1 as usual. So dy du will give us 3u squared, because 3 minus 1 is 2. So let us continue from this side. Remember, here we are having that our du dx is 6x and dy du is 3u squared. So now, but dy dx is equivalent to du dx multiplied by dy du. That is the chain rule which we apply in function of a function. So, and you can see that when du cancel du, you are having back your dy dx, which makes both sides to be balanced. Okay, so dy dx, that's the chain rule you use for function of function, is du dx multiplying dy du. So dy dx will now be equivalent to du dx, and du dx gave us 6x. So I'll write 6x in place of du dx. Then dy du gave us 3u squared. So you multiply by 3u squared. Remember, dot is just multiplication in math. So dy dx will now be 6x times 3u squared will give us 18x u squared. We would have stopped here, but initially we said that u is equivalent to 3x squared minus 2. Therefore, dy dx will now be 18x. Seeing u, I'll plug in 3x squared minus 2, then to the power of 2. This is now our dy dx, the rate of change of y with respect to x. So let's solve the second one, where we are told that y is 5 over 6 minus x squared to the power of 3. So y is 5 over 6 minus x squared to the power of 3. You know that this can be written as y equals 5 multiplying 6 minus x squared to the power of negative 3, because from the laws of indices this is staying as denominator. When it comes up, the power turns to negative because the reciprocal turns it back to the original form. So we have that y is now 5 into 6 minus x squared to the power of 3, power of minus 3. So let us let u to be equivalent to the items in the bracket. So let u be equal to 6 minus x squared. If u is 6 minus x squared, we shall have that y will now be 5 u power of minus 3, because u is now 6 minus x squared. Now let us find du dx and also find dy du. So du over dx will give us it will be equivalent to, if I differentiate 6, I'm getting 0 minus, when I differentiate x squared, 2 comes to the back, I have 2x, 2 minus 1. So finally du dx will give me minus 2x, because minus 1, 2 minus 1 is 1, and the power of 1 is nothing. So 0 minus this gives us this back again. So this is our du dx. So let's find dy du. Dy du will give us the rate of change of y with respect to u. It will give us minus 3 comes to the back, we shall have 5 multiplying minus 3 u minus 3 minus 1. At each point in time, you have to remove 1 from your power. So dy du will finally give us 5 times minus 3 is minus 15 u minus 3 minus 1 will give us minus 4. So this is the value of your dy du. But dy dx is du dx multiplying dy du. That is the chain rule, dy du. So dy dx will give us, du dx give us minus 2x here. That's our du dx, minus 2x. So have minus 2x multiplying dy du is minus 15u power of minus 4. When we take the multiplication, we shall have that minus 2x times minus 15 will give us 30x u power of minus 4. From the laws of indices, you can simplify this further. This can be dy dx, is now 30x multiplying 1 over u power of 4 from the laws of indices. So dy dx will be 30x times 1 is 30x all over u power of 4. I would have stopped here, but initially we are told that u is equal to 6 minus x squared. So we are going to plug u in here to get the final answer. From here, but we said that initially u is equivalent to 6 minus x squared. So put the value for u here. Therefore, dy dx is equivalent to 30x all over, seeing u, I'll plug in 6 minus x squared then to the power of 4. So this is the derivative. So if you've enjoyed what you've watched, kindly hit the red button to subscribe to my channel. It gives you notification whenever a new video is out. Thank you so much.